Hey everybody, Jason Hodge here, and today's challenge video, day number 5, is organized. How do you stay organized? How do you get organized? And what are you going to do to get organized if you're not already organized? Okay, well, there's a few things. Now, I won't say that I'm the most organized person. I will say that I do have just a slight tad bit of OCD on some things, though. So, there's a few tools that I use that I love. Love, 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 love. And one of them is MindMeister. MindMeister, I use that to just do a brain dump. My brain works a lot, and it has probably a boatload of information that runs through it every waking hour, every waking moment of the day. And so I like to jump into MindMeister to kind of continually dump my brain. And every now and then I go back through those mind maps and see what things need to be built out and what things need to be left alone. Right now I have probably about 400 mind maps that are in there. Love it. Dropbox. That's another thing. Every time that I've got either a new client or a new person that I'm dealing with that I need to send files to, I will push it through Dropbox. That is probably one of the coolest things. It's not like big deal cool, but it's pretty big deal to me. I love Dropbox. It's simple. I have had very few people that didn't get it. When I would tell them, okay, look, I want to send over these files to you. So why don't you go ahead? Here's the link. Sign up to Dropbox, and then I'll be able to just dump it right onto your computer. You can grab it. I've got a few accountability partners that I Dropbox back and forth to, and it works. It's great. Another thing is Google Calendar. Google Calendar, I think, is a great invention of Google. I like the fact that it pops up on my phone. And so I'll pop in something on my calendar, and then it'll just pop right on up, and then it's like, oh, okay, good, got to do that. The only thing is that I probably have to get a little bit better about not double booking myself, right? So I'll work on that. Another thing I have is production boxes. Now, I am a bit old school myself, and I'm always collecting things like graphics, and if I find really good layouts, literature, and things like that, I'm a bit of a junkie on stuff like that. I don't know if there are any of those, when you go into a new town and you have those like kiosks or flyer shelves or whatever they call those things, probably a kiosk. And they have all of the different places that you can go, the tourist attractions. Well, I do tend to collect those. Not because I'm going to all of those places, but you never know. But I collect them when things catch my eye, even things that I think look really kind of, junky. I will pick them up because I think, okay, well, let me understand what this designer was thinking when they put together this particular ad or this brochure or this artwork or whatever. And I like to look at layouts. I like to, sit and measure, okay, how many, millimeters or picas or, pixels or whatever, you know, make this thing look the way that it looks. If something is particularly buttery to me, where I'm like, ooh, that's really good looking, then I will sit there and just kind of break it apart and measure it and then put, like, my little line graphs and stuff like that in a program that I work with a lot called Inkscape. Inkscape is kind of like a free version of Illustrator, and I just thought it was kind of fun, so I downloaded it to my computer. Really cool stuff. I'm a bit of an app and program junkie, which is why I am working with about 8 hard drives. Each one of them are about a terabyte. I know, don't. Okay, yeah. And I fill them up regularly. It's bad. Another thing is the whiteboard. Now, I have to, when I work with my whiteboard, I have to do a combination of whiteboard and either my iPad or my phone, where after I write everything on the whiteboard, I take a picture of it, and then that pops into my Dropbox or into my MindMeister or Google Drive or something like that, and that way I have that information stored. Because again, I'm a bit of an info junkie, so as I'm writing stuff out and I start to expand things out and keep on expanding them, those expansions end up becoming separate pieces of information that I then go back and go in layers and then expand those things. So it's, kind of like, keeps on delving deeper and deeper. And then by the time I'm finished, I could pretty much take any subject and build it out to whatever I want because I've sat there kind of working out all of the different directions that it can go in. And so, whiteboard and a way to capture what I have on the whiteboard before I erase it and then start again. Excel spreadsheet. Now, I can't program it the way that I've seen somebody really rock the Excel spreadsheet, but I can do some pretty amazing things with Excel. And, I can get done what I need to get done and then some with it, right? I do like that because I do have a linear side to me that I like to see everything in kind of like its space and blocks and whatnot. I don't know if that's the OCD portion or not. So I take my ideas and concepts, things that would be on a mind map. Usually they start out on Excel, and then I move them from Excel to the mind map so that I can see some movement to them. So Excel spreadsheets, I love them. I do those sheets where you are cross-linking sheets to documents and things like that, and you know. And then when all else fails, my wife, to help me stay organized. I'm serious. She kind of helps reel me in when I go off on a tangent, and which is quite often because, like I said, my mind is always thinking of, oh, let me see, how does this build out? Where does this go? And, what's the concept, the theme, the principle behind this thing? So, yeah, so she helps keep me grounded. She's definitely the wind beneath my wings. Folders. Okay, now again, a little old school. I do like folders, but these folders are digital folders, and ergo why I have 8 hard drives. So I make up a folder, and the folder would be either thematic or, seasonal, whatever. And I will, like, say for example, I have a marketing folder, right? Well, inside of the marketing folder, I have all the different types of marketing, and every time that I find a new form of marketing, then that becomes a folder. And then every time that I find a piece of marketing material that fits that particular folder, in that folder it goes. Now, I'm probably going to have to end up getting a scan. Well, I have a scanner. I have a couple of scanners. Actually, using those scanners, and and I'll tell you why. Okay, one of the other things that I use is a production box. Production boxes are, well, for me, they're those things that fold down, black top, the plastic, box, a box. And those things are what where all of the pieces of literature that I collect when I'm looking at topography or really good graphics, clippings of or all sorts of things go into those production boxes. And so if it's marketing pieces, if it's art pieces, if it's graphics, whatever, they have their own separate box, and those are in the garage. Some of them are in the office, but most of them are in the garage on these shelving units that we put up. And that way, when I need to kind of jog my mind and get some ideas, if I'm thinking about different what's the word concepts, if I'm thinking about different concepts and things like that around a particular campaign, then I start looking at the fonts. I look at the color schemes and all of that. And not that I know what I'm doing, but by osmosis it helps me to create really nice looking slides or things like that, artistic things, in order to put together a presentation. All right. uh, what else? Okay, now what I am going to start using just to kind of streamline everything to, because I, can tend to be all over the board to where it looks like, okay, what just happened in here, like an explosion. And sometimes those explosions take me a few days to, look at and kind of go through. So I'll sit in the middle of the explosion for a day or two or three, sometimes longer, depending on what's going on in my mind. And as I'm doing that, I'm sitting there kind of building where everything should go, an internal build. And then at the end of that time, I get up and then I start putting everything where it goes. So the work is done up here first, and then I move it into the actual physical work. So I think a lot before I, take certain moves. So I will be implementing IFTTT. I just was at a presentation of that today. That thing looks awesome. That stands for if this then that. It's ifttt.com. If you haven't been there, check it out. It's really cool stuff. Evernote. I did not realize actually that Evernote can do what it does. So that's exciting to me. Buttery. And then I will be, instead of just focusing on the calendar, I'm going to create on one of my mobile platforms a way for me to just have text message reminders, SMS or text or whatnot. And, as I schedule different things, just have that remind me. So it'll be my own little personal account that I do that for, instead of just doing it for clients, right? And then, like I said, I'm going to implement the use of the scanner. Scan a lot of this stuff, and then hopefully I can throw some stuff away. But it's very rare that I throw things away, ergo the production boxes, because I always figure you never know if you're going to need it and you're going to need to go back to it to reference it, because there's a historical element to the things as well. Sometimes it could even be the type of paper that was used in a certain era, so my mind kind of goes way out there like that, right? Makes it interesting. I tell you, I've got a good woman that's married to me because she puts up with all of that. All right, so that's what I have. Hey, you know what? If you are looking at this and any of this resonated with you, and you're saying, "Wow, you know what? That actually is really cool," or "Hey, that's really crazy what he's talking about doing," and you want to know how to get involved with the community that I'm involved with, and really grow yourself, expand your horizons, really get outside of your comfort zone in order to make positive things happen in your life. Go ahead, click the link below, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have a lot of great ideas that I'm going to be coming up with, just from, stuff that I've done in the past, stuff that I've done for clients, and the things that I've learned along the way. Along the way, I've learned a lot better things to do, in order to get projects done and all of that. So anyway, go ahead, subscribe, click the link below. And here's another thing. I'm going to encourage you right now. I'm going to give you a call to action. Step outside of your comfort zone and get involved with this video challenge. It helps you in so many ways. There are so many great people inside of this community that, you could find, you may find some great business deals in there. Definitely you'll find a lot of lifelong friends. I know I have. So this is Jason, keeping it real. I will see you on the other side. Sorry that the video was so long, but there you have it. You asked, what do I do to organize? Here you have it. Took a long time.